Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises, all honor and all glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Kadash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to all the brothers on the four corners of the earth that teaching this good gospel on sincerity. And all truth and shalom if you acquire the listening silence and appearance your husband. Shalom, busy brother. Yaramia here. Back with another video. Alright, and this video is gonna be on Job 41. Like I now did Job 40, which is the Behemoth. So this one is gonna be on Leviathan now. Alright, so we could jump into it one time. Alright. This one is a bit longer, the whole chapter, right? So Job 41 and verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? And the answer is no, because the Leviathan is not a fish. So you can't do that. Right? Canst thou put an hook into his nose or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? Right? And then we had a go there one time. Right? Yeah. GNT. Right. Can you catch Leviathan with a fish hook? Exactly. No, you can't. You can't catch him with a fish hook. With a fish hook, sir. Or tie his tongue down with a rope. Can you put a rope through his snot? Right? Or put a hook through his jaws? Will he beg you to let him go? Will he plead with you for mercy? Will he make an agreement with you and promise to serve you forever? Right? Will you tie him like a pet bird, like something to use your servant woman? Right? And that would say, will you take him as a servant forever? Will you keep shooting missiles at him and doing him where you feel like, and he just taking it, he just alright, they're leaving all that for now, man. They get a little play now, man. They do a little thing now, man. He just normal. You ain't gonna get to keep him as a servant forever, right? Will thou play with him? 5 Job 41 and 5 in the KJV. Will thou play with him as with a bird, or will thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they pass him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thy slack, and I go separate the car, go back. Right, will you tie? Right, I read that. Will, verse 6. Job 41 and 6 in GNT. Says, will fishermen bargain over him? Will merchants cut him up to sell? Can you fill? And all these is question marks. So that is a question being asked. Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you? Right? Can you fill his hide? Yeah, can you fill his hide with fish and spears, or pierce his head with a harpoon? Right, can't. So as I was saying, right, all these is question marks. Can you fill his hide with fish spears, or pierce his head with a harpoon? Right, touch him. So that KJV, it says, lay thy hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. So it now asks you all them questions. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then it ended like that. Lay thy hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. So don't do that, because the outcome is not what you can think it can be. The outcome is not that I can get to throw a cord down and catch him with that, or I can get to bind him with chains. You know, if you never to try to go down in the deep and use whatever the technology or what. They can't bind him. They can't. Right? In the GNT now it says, touch him once and you'll never try it again. So don't do that. Right? Touch him once and you'll never try it again. You'll never forget the fight. You will never forget that fight. And you so done. Because as we say, Leviathan could be there. So if Leviathan was there, you saw trying thing on him, because you believe he there. And you know them could see the them could probably check the radar and shit. You know, and see probably someday and shoot at it. You know? And them know the scriptures. So them know it could is Leviathan. I don't know it's Leviathan. So that's why it say you will remember that fight. Lay thy hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Right? Verse 9, behold, the hope of him is in vain, shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him. So if you actually see Leviathan, right, because that what is showing the movies and things with Leviathan, they call it what is it called him? Godzilla they call him, right? I think so, right? If when you see it, that you might think it could be that image, and it's not that even that image, because we don't know how Leviathan looks like. There's a description of how he's look, but like to actually like see, like no, like right, that is how he's exactly. We don't know it. So Leviathan could be a scary thing to them. You know that it says, behold, the hope of him is in vain, shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him. Right? None is so fierce that they stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? So if you cast up Leviathan, how you can stand before the Lord? Think about it. How? Verse 9 in GNT. Anyone who sees Leviathan loses courage and falls to the ground. So that is what will happen when you see Leviathan. Right? He'll lose courage and fall down to the ground. When he is aroused, he is fierce. No one would dare stand. So like when he is aroused, he is fierce. No one would dare to stand before him. Right? When he is who can attack him and still be safe? No one in the world can do it. And he saw them attack him. They're trying the thing. Because he could really be there, as I say, with the radar, and they could check it and thing. Because he keep shooting it there. Right? God might not send Leviathan to fuck them up now. But in the end, he could very well do it, right? Who had prevented him? The KJV. Who had prevented me, that I should repay him whatsoever under the whole heaven is mine. Right? I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely portion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride shut up together as with a closed seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. Right? By his Nisan Salak. I'm going too fast. So now explain, right? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. So imagine if you really see Leviathan. And he may be, Leviathan, he may be, we don't know how he can look, but you will be sure you must be able to see teeth. I imagine seeing the teeth. It says terrible round about. That can be a great sighting, Going back, right? It says, right, verse 12. Let me tell you about Leviathan's legs, and describe how great and strong he is. No one can tear off his outer coat or pierce the armor he wears, and as his scales. As I say, his skills is his pride, right? Who can open his jaws and ringed with those terrifying teeth? No one can do that. Only the Lord who made that pet could do that. As it says back in the behemoth, only he maker could defeat him. Bring him down, right? His back is made of rows of shield fastened together and as hard as stone. So tell me, when a missile, if he is shooting a missile like that not gonna do him none. It really not gonna do him none. And later down in the going down in chapters, gonna prove that, right? Each one is joined so tight to the next that even a breath can come between. They are all fastened so firmly together that nothing can pull them apart. Right, verse 18 now in the KJV, by his neesing a light do it shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Right here now it says, light flashes when he sneezes, right, and his eye glows like the rising sun. Right, so his eyes is bright. The Lord give him that the eyes will be like the rising sun. Bright. That's how bright his eyes is. Right? Continuing over here now. Out of his mouth go burning lamps and sparks of fire leap out. So that was saying. There is Leviathan fire. Flames blaze from his mouth and streams of fire sparks. And streams of sparks fly out. Right? Smoke. KJV. Right, out of his mouth go burning lamps and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils go with smoke, and out of a seething pot by a cauldron his breath kindle it coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and so is turned into joy before him. Right, the flakes of his flesh are joined together, they are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By the reason of breaking, they purify themselves. So when he rise up, the mighty is going to be afraid too. Yeah, the mighty is going to be afraid. Right? Back in the GNT, it says, smoke comes pouring out of his nose like smoke from weeds burning under a pot. His breath starts fires, right, burning. Flames leap out of his mouth. His neck is powerful that all who meet him are terrified. There is not a weak spot in his skin. It is as hard as unyielding as iron. His stony heart is without fear, as unyielding, right, and hard as a millstone. When he rises up, even the strongest are frightened. They are helpless with fear. There is no sword that can wound him, no spear or arrow or lance that can harm him. For him iron is as a flimsy as a straw, and brass as soft as rotten wood. There is no arrow that can make him run. So that was saying, them arrows, them could be shooting at the Bermuda Triangle, and he could be there, and he don't care. Them arrows, them missiles when they're shooting at him, he can't make him run. He don't care. He's not frightened. That can't do he none. I don't pay no fear in here none. Right? Rocks are thrown at him are like bits of straw. To him, a club is a piece of straw, and he laughs when men throw spears, missiles. He laughs when them shooting the missiles at him. Hey, that don't do me none. He just laughing. The scales of his belly are light jagged piece of pottery. They tear up the muddy ground like a threshing sledge. He churns up the sea like boiling water and makes it bubble like a pot of oil. So that was saying how hot they go be, because if that was there, as I really personally believe that he could have been the one who shipped the Titanic. Sink, Salah. I seen ship sink the Titanic. Because if the passing and he below there, but he breathing sparks of fire, smoke, everything, the water go be hot, so it could have just bring them down because of the hot water. And remember it say they, right, and makes it bubble like a pot of oil. A pot of oil, when you put on maximum no, not maximum, max fire, max heat, so like the pot does get real hot, sort of bubble, right? This is a Leviathan for you. This is a Leviathan for you. He leaves a shining part behind him and turns the sea to white foam. There is nothing on the earth to compare with him. He is a creature that has no fear. He looks down on the proudest animals. He is king of all wild beasts. So Leviathan is the king of all these beasts. Wild beasts. Right? None of these arrows can make him flee. None of that could happen. None of that. Right? And if you go back here, it says back in the so like if we go back in the KJV here, it says the arrows cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned into stubble before him. He doesn't have Mazda upon that. That is nothing to me. What is this? That's accounted as stubble. He laughed at the shaking of his spear. Rather than laughing at that, he make it the deep to boil like a pot. He make it the sea to make the sea like a pot of ornament. He make it right. So when that Titanic passing, I'm gonna be passing, and the ship will sink because the water hot, the water boiling. So that's why I personally believe that, right? So, I hope this has was edifying to the Lord's elect, giving all praises, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, to all honors to the apostles and the elders of great Mercy, and shalom to all the brothers on the four corners of the earth, are teaching this good gospel of sincerity and truth. This was your brother Yaramir here, signing out saying, shalom to the elect, and shalom I will carry him. This is wicked place. Shalom to the elect.